So look, man, this is a little disclaimer. We've been supposed to put this episode out 4 or 5 weeks ago. I was having editing issues, MacBook problems, all that type of shit. So I just want to let y'all know, shut y'all bitch ass up. It's finally out. Stop asking me about this bitch ass episode. It's out. Fuck niggas.
Hey yo, what's good, man? We are back with another episode of the Real Rap Coalition podcast, man.
Yeah.
Episode.
Yeah.
Wop babaloo bop.
And this is episode 13, I believe, man. It's hard to keep count. I think
Lucky number 13.
13, man. We've been at this for 13 weeks. So we back with another one. Before we get started, man, let's introduce ourselves. Let's go down the line. Who we got in here?
All right, man. What's going on?
Robert Celeste, you already know. Jake Gyllenhaal, psychopath. Let's get it.
Creative choice, Caleb, man. Not
Big
maniac
deal.
approved.
My bad. I interrupted your shit, but let's go. Let's shoot some car crashes and murders. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, Showtime Slim, man. Jake Gyllenhaal, sociopath, not necessarily psychopath.
Text. I love women.
Let's go.
All right, man. And today's episode was brought to you by Lordy Lord Pujols. So I'm gonna let Pujols go ahead and take it over. He can introduce the movie and get into that shit.
Okay, this week we had 2014's NightCrawler. Nothing specifically like made me want to just watch it. I just felt like it was fire. I seen it like a few months ago. Been hearing about it for years. Finally wanted to watch it. Brung it to the panel. Let my fellow podcasters digest it and see how they felt about it.
Hey yo.
Yo.
Yeah, that was crazy. Pause. Hey, a nigga just got fined $40,000 for saying no homo in the NBA. Shout out him.
Cam Johnson.
Yeah, shout out him. But yeah, man. So I'm
Hey
not.
yo.
I'm not gonna go through the whole shit.
Nigga
We just
name
gonna
is
do a
Cam.
quick review. That is great, Cam Johnson. You know what that means?
Right. Cam and his just
Stick to the
Hey,
movie here, man.
fuck
Let's stick
it,
to
And
the
think
movie
about
here,
the
man.
movie we
Get
talking
back
about.
to the movie, man.
yeah, man. So this how it starts, man. My guy Louis Bloom, I believe that's my brother's name. Popped the movie off. Already doing some bullshit. Niggas is scrapping metal. Trying to steal some damn scrap metal. Walk through the gate, police see him, and right here we found out Lewis is a piece of shit murderer or ass whooper. I don't know if he murdered this security guard or if he beat the hell out of him and just took his watch. I don't know. But he gets stopped, has a conversation with a security guard, whoops on his ass a little bit, takes his watch, goes to a pawn. No, he don't go to the pawn shop yet. He hold on.
He
How
go
did
to the scrap yard or some shit, some construction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he stole all the shit, like the scrap metal shit.
how did it get to where he found out about the night crawlers? He went to the fucking what happened?
He was looking
He,
for a job.
he's driving. He went and sold that shit. He wanted a job from that guy who ran the construction yard, and he basically told him like, "Fuck off! I'm not hiring you. You steal shit." And so like he's driving home and he sees some kind of fucked up car wreck. You know what I'm saying, on the side of some shit. He decides to stop being the sociopath that he is and go like get a close look. And some dude there like getting camera footage and shit. And he like asks him what the fuck he do.
Yeah, he overheard him like talking about how much it was gonna cost, how much it was gonna get paid for it and shit too. So I feel like that kind of piqued his interest because he was looking for money. He wanted money. He wanted a job. So
And he's a smart individual, man. So he
Yeah, he
comes
was
up with his plan. He goes, gets the camera. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I cannot remember this shit in order. So somebody gonna have to help me out.
So what happened?
I feel like generally, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
Well, yeah. Before he got the camera, what happened was he was on the beach, and a
Stole
guy
somebody's
pulled up.
bike?
Oh, a
Yeah, a
bike,
guy
right?
pulled up on the bike, and so being the common thief that he is, because we got from the first scene that he was a thief. he stole the bike and he took the bike inside and pawned the bike.
That pawn shop was really finna give him $800 for a bike, bro.
He wanted a few thousand, but that's not
what
the
I'm
point.
saying, bro. That little ass bike.
So he got they was gonna give him 700, and then he negotiated for 800 in store credit.
Store credit.
And so he was able to get the police scanner and the camcorder.
I think that part
camcorder.
speaks to his character a lot, dog. I mean, this is when he started his NightCrawler, whatever, right?
Facts.
But
did he
even crazier is
immediately
that-
hire his his help, or did
No.
he
No, he did it by himself.
No, he went out on the job first and tried to do it first.
Yeah, he went out by
But
himself
before we
first.
talk about bro, like, yo, he was in there and shit. Like, he stole and he tried to sell things to people. Whatever. The other dude, he tried to get a job with him. He's like, I'll hire no damn thief. Whatever. He goes to the bike shop. He trying to pawn that shit off, but he wasn't trying to pawn that shit off the whole time. He knew that nigga had a camcorder in there. He knew that nigga had a police scanner, and he stole some shit because he ain't have the guap to just buy it outright. So he's doing that little negotiation, all that whoop-de-whoop. That nigga knew damn well what he came into the store for. Talk about how I rode this in the Tour de France and this shit, won the championship.
Right.
Like,
he's a lying motherfucker, boy.
Oh yeah, I
He's
picked up on that
lying, man.
early too. That early too. That nigga didn't give a fuck. He was a lying ass, stealing ass nigga.
he's a manipulator, so no matter what
He's
type
really
of flagrant
fire,
shit
man.
that he says, no matter what type of
Hold on,
flowery
Flo.
language he use, you already know that he's committed to his plan, and that's really the most important thing in his mind. So I thought it was dope that even in the bike scene, and when he was giving the lecture to the dude at the scrapyard, like, damn, like, bro was really like, you know what I'm saying? He talked like he knows, like he talks like he got worldly experience of what when he talked to these niggas. So
well, I don't
already
agree,
there's
bro. He
yeah.
talks like he read some shit online, but he has horrible people skills, man. Like he don't like ever present his case.
we're gonna get into
He
that.
said
We're
why
gonna
though.
get
He
into that.
said why he's like that when he was talking
Nah,
to
nah.
the
Yeah.
reporter lady. But
They're
we'll get to
talking to
that.
I just
Rick.
don't want to jump into it real quick because we can explore that shit down the line. But
It's like he's like I really can't. It's like he's not passive aggressive, but his voice is so whiny and bitchly and weaselly. It's like I don't know what is he like. He's not passive aggressive at all, but he's just like a bitch ass nigga. That's not
he sound
like
he sound like he got mild autism.
well,
I'm not
pause,
gonna
right?
lie, like social
Put
disorder.
yourself in the shoes of some of the people who come across him, right? Like the nigga in the store is just like, I got some geeky white dude in here. He trying to sell me this shit. All right, he a little smarticle. They got the money to go to college and shit. These motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? So he just, when he talk the way he do, we could look at him and be like, yeah, he a weirdo. Yeah, he don't got social skill, whatever. But don't you realize that he committed to like a certain plan? And like the way he treat people and the way he talk to them, he's really just trying to get to the shit that he want to. Yeah, he do it in a way that anybody could be like, this nigga's weird, but he don't give a fuck about being weird. He don't give a fuck how it come off, because when he wants for something, you know what I'm saying, it seems like he go for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think he's amazing. Like as a character, I think like it's like, bro, do you want to root for this nigga or do you like he need to go to jail? It's like, bro, the dude
Hell no, I don't know.
is fucking. That's how you feel. But to me, he's an amazing character.
I definitely rooted for him, but I think the reason why is because he's our protagonist. I have his goals, first and most to like really identify with this movie. Unless I'm a real sensitive ass bitch watching and I'm gonna just impose my morals on the movie to make sense of it. You got to take it for what it is. We dealing with somebody who's trying to make it in the Stinger game. You know what I'm saying? He trying to be out there at the crimes and he gonna film some gruesome stuff or whatever. But even though I knew he was fucked up, there was a part of me that knew like I need to see what this nigga get away with next. I need to know. You know what I'm saying? So they make it so you kind of root for the bad guy in this one. But I don't know if y'all felt that way.
Well, let's get to like, so he goes out and he does his first job, you know what I'm saying, or like, he goes some places and it don't really work out, but he what was the first one? It was like
the first job
somebody had
actually got him
fucked
in
up
the door.
car.
Yeah, the first one.
The first job went well. Yeah,
It was something like where somebody was fucked up in the car. Was it a car wreck?
Oh,
or
no, it wasn't.
it wasn't. It was somebody outside
his
on the
first
ground.
one wasn't that good. He was ass. His first one, they was like, get
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, KT,
The first time, I think what it was that they were trying to resuscitate somebody who was the victim of like a carjacking who got shot, right?
Yeah.
He got up to the scene and there were other people filming, sure, but he was the one that said, I'm gonna go up right up to the body with the medical,
Right.
you know
And
what I'm
them
saying?
cops got on his ass.
That was like his third one because his first two was ass, and they was like, bro, what you doing? Like, you remember it was somebody with a breathalyzer, like,
was
bro,
on his
get your
ass,
ass.
dog.
Yeah. So it was like his third one where he got up close and got the
I
close
don't
shot.
think so, Puos, because
It was.
Yeah.
what happened was whenever he went in with the guy, like Luno said, the dude on the ground, and he got carjacked and whatever, and he went up close and he got in front of the other reporter and got up close, and that's when they kicked them both away. I think that's the first time he went to that lady and he gave her that tape, and she was
Yeah,
like,
because
the
after the
quality.
first
No, but Slim,
failures that
before
he
that,
had,
remember
yeah, he
he had
failed one time. One time he tried to get close, and the
he
dude
had
was like,
pulled
"You're
up
gonna
to
put that shit
somebody's
away."
crib and like
It was
walked up
2
in the middle
times.
of some domestic disturbance and shit, and they were like, "Hey, bro, fuck off! Like, get the fuck
Yeah,
Oh,
out of
so
yeah,
here."
that
I wasn't
And the
counting
yeah.
those
second,
as successful ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
No,
even
they
count them
weren't.
as like real cases. Like they were definitely not successful. Like, they both told him to fuck off. He didn't get no
yeah.
footage, whatever. But
Right,
on
right.
the
I
third
wasn't
time,
counting
like
that.
Puos is saying, he pulled up and he put the camera right up to the body. KTLA is putting on TV shit that's
Boost
gruesome
them.
and shit that's fucked up or whatever to try and boost their ratings. So
Hmm.
he basically went to them and said, "Yes, my first time. Whoop de whoop. I got this." And they were like, "How much do you want?" This motherfucker was like, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to,
$1,000.
yeah, $1,000, and they're like, "Take
That bitch
200,
gave
yo."
him like
I'll give you
300
200.
bucks or
The
something.
quality
It's a
ass,
shitty ass
get a new
quality.
camera,
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm
get
saying? She was sending
interviews.
him. She was sending him and shit. But that was the beginning, right?
So then, you know what I'm saying? He goes out and he decides he needs some help. So, I guess he put an ad out in the paper or something. You know what I'm saying? However, like he got in contact with this person. You know what I'm saying? This strange character, man, Rick. What y'all think of Rick, man?
Oh
Uh,
God.
Rick is some
And
bullshit. Go ahead, Tex.
man, Rick is annoying. I'm gonna give it a buck.
Rick is
Yeah.
an odd character, man. They said he was out there like he was homeless and tricking and some more shit before he got his job and shit.
Man said he wasn't tricking.
Yeah, he all right. He said
so
Slim, he said I'm straight. He said even straight men trick. I said, "Oh, okay. That's what this is."
so yeah, but so Rick was a homeless guy. He never really held down a job before. He had one job that he was at for a little minute,
2
and
I thought
then
months,
he was
yeah.
everything
doing
else.
drugs at
And then
first.
he
I'm
got
not
hay
gonna lie.
fever and he lost his job.
Yeah,
And
everything else he said was only like a week
and
or
so
so.
yeah, the only reason the tricking thing came up is because he said he'd do some jobs here and there, and he didn't want to get
Yo, Tex,
specific.
you good?
You said what?
You straight?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, so he basically though he calls in this Indian dude, you know what I'm saying, because he needs frankly an accomplice, right? And in like a really indirect way, he just sort of, gave enough line for this motherfucker to get hooked. He's basically just like, "Well, what'd you do with your last jobs?" Didn't give him no real answer. He's like, "Well, you know what I'm saying? So, why should I hire you?" He's like, "Well, I'm a hard worker." Some bullshit, right? And then
He
eventually
rolled a
he's just,
few buses to get over there and shit.
yeah, I took 3 buses, and all this other shit. And then he was just like, are you, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to do, and he's like, "Well, what are we actually doing?" He's like, "So are you down to do this?" Like, he don't tell him what the actual job is, but when he say he hired, this nigga's lit. Like, I'm about to make some money, whatever.
Well, I think Ricky is pretty fucking stupid in the very beginning. Really, 75% of the movie, like, bro, you see the type of bullshit y'all doing. Even before they got started, the offer was terrible. What
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you get
$25 a night.
So,
$30.
$30 a night?
hey,
What
Puos,
are
let me
you
say
doing?
this. So the thing about Rick is, I feel like he was desperate. Like he had no money or nothing, so he was like a
Come on,
bum
sir.
off the street. No, seriously, he was like
He
a
was
bum
sleeping
off the
in a
street. If
garage.
you find a bum, even when he was working, he was still homeless for the. But like, if you go find a bum on the street and tell him you're gonna pay him $30 a day, he probably gonna come do what you want to. So
Not that. Not that. Like, that's like some high level shit he doing. Like,
if you
you gonna
desperate,
give a bum, like,
but
you
I'm
give
saying
them
like if
type of
you
niggas a
desperate,
car
you'll
wash,
do
you get them
anything.
niggas a quick 10, bro. Like, that's that type of shit. Them
Yeah, I
niggas is
mean,
not. I don't think
But
a bum
Puos,
finna
they,
do
they
all
kind
that.
of showed his desperation to get a job. Like he didn't give a fuck. He came and didn't know what the job was. He
yeah,
would have did
he didn't
anything.
even know when he accepted for real, for real.
Yeah,
But
he would
he
have did
said
anything.
that you're gonna get familiar with police radio or whatever, and like knowing what the codes mean and shit, and you're gonna
He just
handle
heard the money and he
transportation.
was going for
He
it.
said you're
Yeah,
gonna drive and learn police
that's
codes.
a 6-figure job, bro. Then Ricky, you gotta. I guess he a kid. How old y'all think he was? About
He
21.
said he graduated high school and then afterwards needed work. So he was on the road, on the street for a long time and shit after he was done with his schooling. So I imagine that he's like a young person. at least like a very young person.
I wouldn't.
He was a
be
homeless man, bro. You gotta realize he was a homeless man.
He could have lied that he
Right.
went to high school to
You
try
know,
and impress,
homeless.
bro.
It ain't like the nigga been out there for 50 years. The nigga a kid.
It don't
bro.
matter how long he been out there. That nigga homeless.
No.
Even
He a
after he was getting
dumbass
them
young
$30 a
homeless
day,
guy.
he
He
was
don't know what
homeless
the
still.
world like, bro.
Nah, bro, you're not paying me. Okay, we gonna do everything in order. But I just seen a nigga get a brand new Challenger. You're not giving me $30.
But you
no
gotta
more.
realize this. Hold on.
I was a
So let me say
Mustang.
this, Pulos.
You
So let me
sure?
say this.
Yeah,
He
the
didn't
Challenger.
have that at first, but also you gotta realize this nigga Rick ain't have no other options. He couldn't hold down no job.
Nigga, go turn some more tricks, gay.
He
Oh, my
wasn't
bad. I
tricking. That's
forgot
what
we
he
on.
Oh
said.
my god.
He said he wasn't tricking.
Well, go do some more odd jobs, whatever you was
Yeah,
doing,
whatever
He
bro.
the
only
odd
get him
job
for a
was.
week. He was
Same,
only holding him
Puro.
down for a
My
week.
bad, man.
So this the
I forgot.
thing. This was his best opportunity in his eyes. This was his best opportunity. He
Why
was getting
though?
Because he
because
had nothing.
he had nothing.
Oh,
Yeah,
the first thing you see is your best $30 an hour.
yeah,
I mean,
because
a
he a
night
homeless
is
And
man.
he was like,
I
fuck
mean,
it, this
look at
nigga's
the
just handing me a
alternative,
job.
bro.
Going
He
from
probably
$0 a day to $30 a day is a
No,
come
it
up for a
wasn't
homeless
$0
nigga.
a day, but this a better line of work. I'll
Come
say
on,
that.
KTL. You can't just get a man a tricking job. Like, we don't know
What,
if he was.
bro?
Well, he
okay.
said he
All
wasn't. The other
right, you
nigga
Hey,
didn't
said he
watch
was.
that part of the movie.
Come
That's a
on, we
bet.
don't know.
yes,
Anyway,
man. But
moving
Just
on.
go make the nigga trick.
before
Yeah,
we move on, okay, I understand that he's desperate. $30. That how long would you allow that? Would you'll watch a nigga keep blowing up while you still making 30?
It was 2 months when he first said something about it. Because he said he had been working for 2 months. He asked for a raise, and he didn't get it. He was pretty passive from the beginning. He was passive.
Might have been a bitch.
Yeah, he probably
Yeah,
was.
He
but
might have
nonetheless,
been.
right? Nonetheless, like he's, they doing the job and shit, and they trying to get to places or whatever. But what presents difficulty is the fact that this nigga is not half as crazy as Jake Gyllenhaal. So you find him like, he was messing up with the navigation on the GPS. He was getting too
He was
scared to tell him
nervous.
when to
He
turn
was
and all this
ass.
other shit.
He was
So
nervous as
I
fuck.
can't
The
lie to
nigga
you.
was
He
yeah,
was
speeding
ass.
and yelling. He was nervous.
He
he
wasn't
was
ass.
shook.
He was ass.
shook.
He was like, "Oh my god, a car just flew by."
It's here. Did you not see how the nigga was driving?
Nigga was
Yeah,
driving
Slim. But
crazy.
after, like, that's shocking for the first couple of jobs. But
Brother, the
that's the
nigga thought
whole
he was gonna
movie,
lose his
son.
life.
The whole well, if you lose, you can't do nothing about it.
Come on, bro. You
What
gotta
you
think.
gonna do?
You
You
gotta
gonna
think
be
Man,
worried your
realistically,
whole
though,
rest
shut
of
up,
your
KTL.
life?
man.
You gotta think realistically. He
No, Slim.
I
I'm
was
thinking about me in that situation.
no, I was
he's not
laughing
you.
when
I
Jake
know he's
Gyllenhaal
not.
Jake Gyllenhaal was about to slap the shit out of him when he missed that stop when he
They
when
missed.
the
He
intercom.
told him it was 4 blocks back.
Oh, he looked at him like
And
he
he
about to
got there.
slap the
He
shit out of
said, I just wasted $5 in gas. Does that sound like a small amount of money to you? Like,
him. Yo, he about to slap the shit out of him.
He told that nigga he was going too fast. He couldn't see. All right, so let's
but
skip past that. What
yeah,
after that?
yeah. He starts doing all these jobs. You know what I'm saying? Continuously.
They get better.
Like,
They both get
yeah, I'm
better.
about to say that they're improving. He's improving his equipment. You know what I'm saying? He's getting a pretty steady job. With the news outlet and shit. And then he decides, let's talk about, man, he decides he wants to take the news reporter woman, I can't remember her name right now, out to
Nina.
dinner.
Nina.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he asked Nina out to dinner, and she's like, I don't like to do some shit with my coworkers, because I think it'll mess up business. He was like, well, what if it mess up business if you don't do it?
Yeah, I
So
never heard that
at
before.
that
He
moment, I
said,
was
yeah,
like,
that nigga. Wow, he
I
definitely
said,
said
well,
that.
hold on a
That was
second
different.
there, Buckaroo. But she went, man. She went for it wherever they went, some like I guess fancy joint or whatever. And he basically just like he I don't know what word to even call it. It's not
This is when the
blackmail,
shit
but
happens.
Nah, it is black.
incentivized her. You know what I'm
That shit
saying?
kind of is
like,
it black? No, it ain't
It was
black.
no,
not.
it's
No,
not
that
blackmail,
that
Oh,
but
it
that
it's
was
was
like
blackmail.
definitely some form of blackmail.
That was
no, it's
blackmail.
not blackmail. He's
Yes,
just
the fuck it
offering to
was.
go
It
else.
is
No, because
definitely blackmail.
blackmail is knowing something from someone's past or that you can expose
Nah,
about them in
this
order
is
to
what
do
he
this.
did. He
He's
said,
offering
if
to
you
take his
don't do this,
services
then I'm leaving.
elsewhere
He
if
was
she don't fuck him.
so he was blackmailing her. I don't
I
care if
don't
you
think
Okay,
call it
that's
so
the dictionary
blackmail
blackmail.
definition or
Like,
not.
blackmail is about information, but
my
I would say
point
it's
being
I would say it's
is that
extortion though.
yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, yeah,
He's
let's go with that.
extorting that
He was
bitch. Yeah,
extorting her.
that's when I realized. I said, "Yo, this is a wild boy. Like he a real creepy creep. Like
Yeah, hey, and he was extorting her for sex.
Yeah, no, not
There's no
just
relation.
sex, Slim. He wanted her to be his girlfriend.
I'll
And some
say
more
this, KT.
shit.
I thought that at first. I thought it was the relationship at first because he was using those
Oh,
terms.
I know what you're about to say.
However,
We'll get to that.
she brought up sex and he said, yeah. And then he said, not just sex, a friend. And she
Yeah.
said, friends don't do this to friends. He said, yeah, a
That's
friend
not
is a gift
true.
that
He
you
said a
give to
friend is a
yourself.
gift you give
And
yourself.
so I'm taking that as sex. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
That boy,
listen,
He's
the
talking about
idea
fucking at
that
her.
In the other
that
part of the
we're
movie, like he confirmed that shit. Like
yeah,
we
no,
alone
we'll
in
get
your
to that in a
apartment.
little bit. But yeah, he
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
said that shit later.
I
But
got that quote,
that
Pools. I know
But
boy
what he
look,
is
said.
a
It was
let's be
he's a
real,
spicy.
right?
weird ass,
Like,
bro.
he
He's a
definitely
freak,
was
boy.
going at it based on like a cost benefit analysis. He wasn't like sitting there trying to appeal to her soul. That motherfucker said,
It's
"I
not.
know." He said, "I
He's
know
going
about
off
you."
logic, dog.
Yeah, like, everybody's trying to be logical about it, but I'm saying he got information. He said, "Well, I know for a fact that your program or whatever is like the worst
Got the
network
lowest
in
rated
the
shit.
world. It's the worst shit."
You don't hold a
And
job down for more than 2
the only
years.
reason why there's
And it's
air,
coming up on 2 years.
the only reason why there's wind underneath your sails is because y'all broadcast this fucked up shit happening to rich ass white people. And my shit happens to be exactly that. Now you could say no or whatever, but I know that you're coming up on your assessment. And if you don't have
Yeah.
something nice for this next month, it's the end of your contract. And I heard you don't hold down no jobs for more than 2 years. It's looking about that time.
That boy really
That
like
shit
he
is
is a
crazy.
menace,
She
boy.
said, "How do you know about this? How do you know this?" He's like, "It's online.
Internet.
It's online.
Before
Everything's
we
online."
move on, can we just because I don't feel like we talked about how wild this dude is, like the feats he was doing just to get a shot. The mother like dude was doing some wild shit. It's a
He
dead
broke into
man.
Bro, he
he broke
moved
into
a
the nigga's
dead
house.
body
Before
off of
that though,
somebody.
oh
Like
no
he
Before
no
that
yeah,
moved
though,
somebody's
listen,
dead
the
body out in
first
front of the
one,
car for a
Slim,
shot.
Yeah, he did move that dead
first
body.
one, the first one, he broke into somebody's house, filmed their refrigerator, looked at their mail, got their name,
Mm-hmm.
filmed them from inside their house.
Move these pictures around, film the
Yep.
cops.
He did
Do
move
a
their
bullet
pictures
window.
around.
Yep, did all that whole ass shit. Then the dude
Somebody's
was
dead
dead.
outside a car.
He moved the body
He
in
moved
the
the
light
fucking
so he
body.
could get a perfect
Mm-hmm.
shot. So happy about it too, motherfucker. The nigga
And
just
they said, is
excited.
that blood? They said, is that blood on your shirt? He said, no, I
The
didn't
lady
think
I
told
so.
him that.
Then
didn't
they
notice.
said it's on your sleeve too. He said, oh, I must have not have noticed it. Like,
And
That
look
was
though,
yeah.
then the man's who the man who kind of introduced them to it got to a place before him. He
he
goes to
offered him a
Oh
Nina.
my
job. Who else?
god.
He
Yeah,
offered him a job.
hold
He
on.
offered him a
Let's
job, and
dissect
Buddy
this
said,
real
no,
fast,
eat a dick.
KTL.
I really want to beat your ass.
Let's
And like,
dissect this real fast, KTL. Before all that, the dude goes, the dude who introduces him to the game, bro. You should, I guess, if you want to do this, cool.
Mhm.
Nina tells him, like after he extorted Nina, the next night or the next scene they shown, the guy who introduced him to the game got the good shot that night, and he didn't get shit. He got a bitch ass stabbing in Corona, and I
right? So
guess
when
that
you
ain't
played
shit.
it, he tried to make alliance. He said, "Look, bro,
It was
I
Joe.
got a whole nother fucking van coming. I got the new
yeah,
edition cameras, not this old shit
Mm-hmm.
that you got. We could work together,
he
and
got
you could get off
dedicated
the
hit
leads that I got
masters
and
and
shit."
some shit.
He
Right.
says, "Nah, I'd rather work alone. I could work alone. Now, you talking to me like this is a good offer, but I'm not interested. I'm gonna go home and account."
Yeah, and so what that
He
was
offered to beat his ass. He was like, bro, I really like want to like
Oh
drag
I
you
yeah,
out
want
of
to hold you by your
basement.
ear and yell, "I'm
yeah.
not fucking interested."
Yeah.
yeah, but what that was him flipping the script because you remember from the beginning he's the one that asked for the job, and
Yeah.
dude told him no, we not hiring. Well, actually, yeah, are y'all hiring? Dude said like fuck no or some shit like
Fuck
that.
no.
And so
Hey.
now we get to this point, and he sees how good Lewis is doing, and he's like, "Hey man, come join me. Instead of being competition, we could team up, and we could take over the city. You got my leads, you got my connections, all that shit." And Lou was like, "Nah, I'm doing this shit on my own." So I feel like it was like a fuck you because when he wanted a
Because you
job,
said
dude
no to
wouldn't
me
tell him.
before.
Yeah, he
It
wouldn't
could
give
No,
him the
be
that's
it
job.
could be
cool.
the
Maybe
case.
that is a bit justified. But what I'm saying, Slim, like, hold on, Puo. So let's get back to this, right? If Buddy offers him a job, he tells him no, fuck off, whatever. Then he goes like, he beats him to a spot because he's got a better system, and he goes and fucks dude van up and shit. It makes him
Made a
like
nigga crash into a
fucking
No,
pole.
but that ain't. I don't even think that's why he went back to Big Nina with that shit. And Nina was like, "Get your fucking head in the game. Don't give me no damn stabbing
Oh
and
yeah,
corner."
yeah, she
So
got on
she,
his ass.
So
yeah, so
he
He
got
went
rid
and
of
freaked
dude.
out and broke his mirror and started yelling and some
nigga
shit.
broke his mirror, bro.
Fucking
I
idiot.
told Luna that's when I knew something was off with dude right there. I knew he was
That's
a
when
weird
you
ass
knew.
nigga. That's what
It
said
took
it.
you that
That's what
long.
said it. No,
That's
that's
when
what
you
said it.
knew.
That's
That
when
right
you
Slim,
there.
he just coerced an older woman into sex through fucking extortion and some shit.
He
Yeah.
moved the
He
dead
killed a
Clearly,
body
broad
and
it
in a
wasn't
shot
great
it.
fully
Yeah,
successful
idea.
yeah,
though.
KTL, but that was him being manipulative. When
He
he
drugged
did
a dead body, Slim.
KTL, so I think let me tell you this. I
All
think
right.
that was him being manipulative when he did that with the woman. When he did everything he was doing with the shots and everything, I think he was being obsessive.
Oh my
When he had a
god.
temper tantrum and broke the mirror and had a rage fit, that's when I was like, he's not all right in the head. Like he's not okay mentally. That's what
What
I
about
got from that.
Slim, I
what
think
about
that
when he beat the
he is
hell
a
out that
very,
security
very
guard?
criminal guy, and I'm not gonna take up too much of a
I don't
detour
think
on
that makes
this.
him a I don't think that means something fucked
Yes,
up with
it
him mentally
does.
for beating the
No,
head
Slim,
out
he
of
Slim.
it.
was
Slim. I would
wilding.
say
How?
he is Slim. I would
As
say
a
he
How?
is
normal,
The
criminally
man
right?
was
insane from the
wilding
beginning
from
of the
start
movie.
to
Nobody
finish.
else like that
No,
has like a
that's a
logical
fucking
train
lie.
of
What are
thought
y'all
would have
talking
ever
about?
What?
thought of
Bro, he
something
was
like that.
How
wilding.
many movies have y'all seen where people fucked up other people?
Hold on a
Well,
second.
That's
Just
not
here's what
just
relax.
I'm
no
saying,
mental
Slim.
shit.
Slim,
No one
he's
that is a
wilding from start to
regular
finish,
human
Just
bro.
being would have
relax.
had a thought
Close. Whoever
process
brought
to
up
do
that
the shit
security
that
guard, I'm
he's
talking about the
doing.
security guard situation.
I
So
brought it up.
somebody beating up a security guard and robbing them, that does not mean that person is mental. That's what I'm saying.
Ew.
It
Oh, so
doesn't.
you
Listen, bro.
mean
Listen,
mentally
listen.
like
Slim,
something
like
wrong
I
with his
feel like
mental?
you gotta
That's
cut
what I
beyond
said.
the
Oh,
you
That's
gotta
go
what I
ahead,
cut
said.
Nuno.
behind the
Nuno been
yeah.
trying to talk for a minute. Go
My
ahead,
bad, my
Nuno.
bad. You got to cut beyond the facade. I feel like one thing that they did with this character is they made him talk a lot more than he had to be an evil villain. And it's the content of what he says that I think paints the picture. He's a self-important, more or less narcissistic character, and he's gonna say a lot of flowery words and like enticing things to get people to agree with him or do the things that he wants to do. I feel like him with this woman. I feel like him doing the lecture to the guy who's trying to get a job at the security place or whatever for the metal and shit. I feel like him talking to the dude behind the counter and telling him this wild story about the Tour de France he did on the bike. All of this is just, I think, a criminally deep manner of like trying to convince and manipulate people. A regular criminal or whatever will just say enough. You know what I'm saying? Just say like, "Hey man, I'm here to drop off a delivery," then pull out a gun. You know. But
I ain't gonna lie to you.
this guy was cerebral, and I think they painted that very early in the movie. I realized that I'm dealing with somebody that knows at least basic human psychology. You give some people a little bit of compliments, you tell them something positive, and then you give them an offer or some shit. He does that a lot in this movie, right? He says something positive, and then he go on to what he actually looking after. He's somebody that for like when he met the news reporters, you know what I'm saying? He's shaking their hand. I think what you guys do is extremely important. And they're like, why thank you? You know, and they eating it up or whatever, right? Like that takes a very sick motherfucker to sit there and create harmony between people when deep down he knows he trying to do some evil shit. Know what I'm saying? So Slim, I agree that he had other motivations like getting money or whatever that is making him do the shit. But I definitely think he seemed like a crazy nigga for the beginning of this movie. Like
Bro, I just
So the
realized
way
as
I
we're
saw it
sitting
from the
here
beginning
talking
was
about
that
it.
I saw it from the beginning that, like you said, he was highly intelligent and he knew what he was doing. Like everything was by design. It was planned. Like he didn't make any mistakes in anything that he did. And
He's
I don't think that that gave off the impression that he was crazy or insane or anything. I feel like it just gave off the impression that of course he's a sociopath and we know that, but I think that gives off the impression that okay, he got the gift of gab, maybe. Like he know how to manipulate people well. He is very, thoughtful in what he's doing. He knows what he's doing and he knows how to get over and get what he wants. But when you talk about like mentally unkept and mentally unstable, I think that's an entirely different situation. And I feel like where I've got that from was whenever he kind of had the little rage fit, whatever y'all, I don't know how to say it, like, whenever he did the little
when he was
bullshit
in
where he
front of the
broke.
mirror and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
hey
was really the turning point for me where I said, okay, he's mentally, unstable. That's what I thought.
hey Puos.
Go ahead, KT.
I just realized something, bro. Like as we sitting here, like this dude is just Louis Roulette without the sexual assault, man. Like he's
Who is
really
Louis
just a
Roulette?
slick talking sociopath from the fucking Lincoln Lawyer. I realized as we were talking. Like he's really
Yeah,
just a slick talking sociopath, but he ain't, sexually assault nobody,
I think he's
man.
more intelligent than the other
yeah, he
Louis
way
was.
more intelligent
I
than
don't know, bro. That was a cold plan. But hold on, let's get back to what we were saying, Puos, bro. He did all of this shit, right? But he gets to a place before him. He cut the brake lines of some motion, whatever the fuck he did, ran dude into a pole and went and videotaped them fucking carting him off and some shit and let him see it was him.
We kind of like deviated away from whom van he cut. Could you explain like whose van he cut? Let the people
what's
know.
his name? Joe? The
And
fucking guy
who
name
is
was
Joe?
Joe.
Joe
Like
is who?
the veteran, the veteran singer and shit. You know what I'm saying? He'd
Yeah.
been doing this shit for a minute. The reason he in the game in the first place, he offered him a job, but he told him to fuck off. Then he got mad when he was a loser and shit. He was a sore loser. So he went out there and fucked off somebody because he told me, he was like, yeah, I'm the number 2 guy. Whatever. He said, oh, that's real interesting. Then it looked like he was in danger. That bitch got on his ass. You know what I'm saying? And now he out here, he damn near killed a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This is anyway, man.
First, Ricky was like, "Nah, he's one of us. Don't record him." That nigga Lewis, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And you can see the look in bro eyes, like he knew he did that to him. Like,
man.
Yeah, he knew it, bro. He knew that you got something to do with my van.
Also, Slim, sorry to bring that back, but yo, like he definitely did pull up on like somebody who was in a serious car crash in a burning ass fucking car being pulled out. You don't know if that person's living or dead, but some serious shit happened. People's in danger. He walked up to that shit steel faced. There was no vulnerability. This nigga can see the worst shit and he just feels nothing. He's just like, oh, can I make money off of this?
Crazy, no. He think that's the first sign of like this nigga doing something mental. Like
I don't know, bro.
He's been going crazy the whole movie. Like I don't understand what you mean.
But
bro.
no, that's
I don't think so.
aside.
I think
no matter yeah.
I think the showing, the showing no emotions, all that type of shit. That's like, signs of like a sociopath. But I definitely don't feel like he had like no crazy moment. Like he was like being weird, but I don't think he had no crazy moment until like later. He was definitely being weird though.
You got that.
Everything he did could get him 10 years in prison, Slim. Literally everything he did could get him at least 10.
Yeah.
Literally everything.
He committed breaking and entering. He committed, you know what I'm saying?
And I looked at that like obsession, like a weird obsession. Like when he was all in people's faces and everything.
Definitely mentally unwell, bro.
A woman to have sex with
I don't think.
Because he does a great job at
illegal.
What about
I don't know what it falls under.
I think he was being super. I think he was being super manipulative, Puos, trying to get what he wanted.
Really went for that shit too. That's crazy.
He had to, bro.
He didn't have a choice.
He didn't, but like I get what y'all saying.
So what I'm saying is,
could have just went and got a different
this
job
is what I'm
at
saying,
a different
y'all.
news station. Like,
come on, KTL, stop it. Nobody wants to get up. Nobody wants to get up and go like
she do it every 2 years.
That don't mean she want to. She do it because she has to.
Okay, and she could like. So you don't think that would be an acceptable alternative?
That bitch was in between a rock and a hard place, and she did what she had to do.
I'm not
say this.
saying. All I'm saying is it didn't have to be like that.
This is the thing, y'all. I don't know if y'all was covering any more of the summary, but I just want to say, like, if you jump skip to the end of the movie, then they kind of. If you jump skip to the end of the movie, then it's said, like the dude tells her, you sound like Lewis. And so I kind of noticed it early on too. They kind of have like some of the same traits. She was just as obsessive as he was. And so when you say she should have did something else, I feel like she didn't because she wanted that.
She wanted to. Yeah.
She was sleazy.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. She ain't have to. She wanted to.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is she did what she had to do in the sense of that was the best option for her. Like leaving wasn't the best option for her. And I don't think it was that hard of a choice. She really wanted that shit that bad. She wanted this fucked up shit on her broadcast that bad that she was willing to do whatever, just like he was willing to do whatever.
So let's get to the setup for the end of the movie, right? You know what I'm saying? The last major like accident he covers, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like he finds some shit that's going on, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers just walk up to somebody's crib and just air the whole family out, bro. I'm talking like 3-4 dead bodies in that bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? They run up, pop some shit, leave, and he sees them, you know what I'm saying? He runs in the crib and shit and videotapes all these dead bodies and some more fucked up shit through the house. You know what I'm saying? Before the police scanners, like before the police even got there, you know, the news ain't broke. He go and he like does like probably his biggest act of extortion. He asks that bitch for like 15 grand for that footage or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, he started with
Yeah,
100,
he started with like
went to
50. I thought it
50.
was 50.
He started with 100, went to 50,
Okay.
and they bargained all the way down,
And
and
he
he
gave
wouldn't
this
move from
bitch an
15.
evil sociopath monologue, boy, the likes of which I might have never seen before. He told
That was
that
crazy.
bitch everything that was finna be and some more shit that better not be, bro. He told that bitch, he said, all right, so here's what's gonna happen. You gonna give me this 15 grand. I don't give a fuck about the precedent of it. From now on, you're not gonna argue with me about the cost. I know
Whatever
what the
number
fuck
I
I'm
say.
going for. You know what I'm saying? He say there's a reason I arrived at that number. You know what I'm saying? He told that bitch, he said, you gonna stop arguing with me over stuff we do in sex that I want to do. You gonna stop arguing with me over some shit like that. I'm like,
He
okay,
ain't
you a
specifically
weirdo.
say those words, but you
Well,
know,
what
But
he
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 said
said that.
was, he said, and when I want to do things with you, it's not going to be like the last time at your place, at your apartment or whatever. It's gonna be
Boy
different
said
this
you're not
time.
gonna ask him
so
questions,
I got the
man.
quote. This is what he said. He said,
I bet you
I
do.
rewound it like 5 times, KT.
Oh, you
I had to get the quote.
go
He
ahead,
said,
Lewis.
when I say that I want these things, I mean that I want them, and I don't want to have to ask again. And the last thing I want is for you to do the things that I asked you to do when we were alone in your apartment, not like the last time.
That boy
So,
into some freaky shit,
so
man.
basically, he took like, yeah, pretty much. And I
Uh,
don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I wish they would have
I
elaborated.
don't. I don't.
I wish he would have
No,
elaborated because I
man,
feel like it was
Leave
some
that
weird.
shit to
I feel like it was some
imagination.
weird shit.
I
I feel
don't
like it
think
was some
so.
weird shit he was talking
I
about.
That
don't think
boy
so. I
was
really
trying to
think
get that
like
bitch to
What you
piss
think it
on him or
was?
something.
I think that nigga was just
Come
like
on, KTF.
trying to tell her how like suck me up or whatever, but like act like you really enjoy it. And she probably was like trying to like being like not really into it. I feel like he just want her
Like,
to be into the shit that they doing.
but I feel
That
like
boy,
he was saying
he
more like
wanted some freaky ass role play, boy.
I feel like he
Okay.
was more saying like she was kind of like not wanting to do what he wanted him to do
That's what
or
I'm
what he
saying.
wanted her to do.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, okay,
But
well,
yeah, so he told that bitch a whole bunch of shit of like how it was finna be. You know what I'm saying? He wanted like his company, you know, to be like talked about. He wanted to meet all the news people. He wanted to make some connections, you know what I'm saying?
facts.
But yeah, like he did all of that shit and you know, she went for it. So,
Yeah.
you know, fast forward a little bit, you know, to the final job as it were. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? He goes, well, actually, let's not get too ahead because like the police pull up, man. Now the police is on his ass and shit. They're like, how did you get this footage? You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like he was doing some fuck shit, which he was. But he has an alibi, you know what I'm saying? He's got a fake little recording that he done made for them because he knew they was gonna ask about it. Gave them the
It,
little tape and
it
sent
it
them on
wasn't
their way.
necessarily fake. He just cut
Yeah,
some
he
shit out.
edited that hoe.
Yeah, it
Is
was
this nigga
edited.
But
not fire though? Like this nigga's
I
fired,
mean,
man.
yeah, he intelligent. Like he planned ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? Them cops was dumb as fuck in this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They had
Like
nothing
the
on him.
cops. I'm not saying like not just that. Like the whole movie, like cops was incompetent through the whole movie, bro. I can't believe it. But yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, like he go on the footage and shit, and he fucking like he find the faces of the dudes. He go online and find out where they be at. So he
Mhm.
goes, you know, finds him, goes, picks up Rick, and you know, he tells him like, all right, so here's what we gonna do. You know, we found these guys, we're gonna tail them to wherever the fuck they end up at. We're gonna call the cops, we're gonna get some footage of some shit. And Rick's like, hold on a second, bro. Like you losing your shit. He said, I want a raise and some more shit. And
Hey,
he got
you
his
gotta talk
raise,
about how he
man.
gave him a raise. He gave him a raise right before that.
Yeah, he got him a raise. What was it, Slim? He won $75 a night. He won $75 a
Yeah,
night.
because he
He
asked
said, could
dude
I
how
have
much he
gotten
wanted.
more? He said, yes, you could have. He said, fuck.
No,
Like,
because what it was Rick was kind of hesitant and he didn't want to say the wrong
he
thing.
said 175.
Yeah, he didn't want to say the wrong thing. And he got down to 75 and dude was like, yeah, cool. And then he found out, yeah, he could have got
He
more.
ain't even say
And
none of them words to say. No, he was scared, boy.
he was
He
Rick
was
got his
scared,
fucking
Slim. It's okay.
he got
He
his
was
fucking
scared. He's
he
Rick.
got his fucking raise, but then like the nigga turned around and I want more. Nah, more. Still bitch ass
Yeah,
up.
I'm
You
about
should
to
have
say,
said
yeah,
something.
like
Wait for that
after he
shit.
finds out, like, oh yeah, there's a reward and there's this shit.
I want
and
half.
that shit, you know, he said, I want half. And he's like, hey, bro, like we can talk about this. Like, he says, no, I want half. This is a bull. He said, how'd you arrive at that number? He said, well, there's two of us sitting right here, and that's
That
half
nigga
of what it is.
Rick even kind of suggested he was like that he was gonna tell the
Yeah, he was
police.
going to tell the
Extort that
He was,
nigga.
yeah, he was gonna tell
shit.
on that nigga. He tried to extort him too. Yeah.
And then like, so he finally he was like, well, I ain't got no choice, whatever, you know, I will do this shit. And he was like, all right, you gonna have to go over here and, you know, take this video. He's like, I'm not doing this shit. And he basically told him at that point, he's like, hey, bro, like I'll really beat the shit out you. Like, and that boy Rick sat there for a second. Then he finally got out the car and went over and did as he was told and shit, like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So he went over there and they like record. You know, he calls the tip into the hotline and shit. The police pull up and a firefight ensues within the diner. Man, cops get shot.
Big
Regular
dude started
people get
blasting.
shot. You know what I'm
Let
saying?
me just say,
Why? Go ahead, Luna.
I was just gonna say, man, that this sequence here, this was a great way to use like a little bit more runtime left in the movie, about like 30 minutes left or so. When this sort of climactic shit starts popping off, they did a good job pacing here. And then, not to mention on top of that, I think that all right, you know, we have like the suspects in there. He makes the call, hangs up, and then when the shit pops off in there or whatever else, right? The fact that they went on the chase with them and just the way all of that was shot was like Fast and Furious level.
Oh yeah, it was fire.
Like,
The shooting was fire. That
amazing the way that they shot that.
They was driving, weaving through traffic and
that
some
scene
more
was
shit.
cold. Yeah,
that was
gotta be illegal. Like they
amazing.
couldn't arrest that nigga for that shit.
They could have pulled him over, but they were already in
Yeah, but
pursuit.
it was
All the
I don't know
police
how he was
radios
getting
were on
away
trying
with
to
it,
catch
bro.
the dude in the SUV, so they weren't really focused on him, I guess.
yeah, they was trying to get the other dude.
But damn, not only can bro drive his ass off, the whole time he's committed to the mission. He's like, yo, don't miss nothing. Hold that shit straight.
But yeah, like you know what I'm saying? The cops get shot. The other motherfuckers get shot. You know, they go on a car chase. They flip cars and some more shit. And, you know, Lewis gets out that bitch. He walks up. He's like, all right, he's dead. Come on, come get this shot. And, you know, I'm going to get this other shot. We're going to splice it together and shit. And Rick walk up and get his bitch ass aired out. Boy, that motherfucker wasn't dead. He shot him about 4 times or some shit.
Yeah,
Laying there on the ground and he walk up, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why that dude didn't shoot Lewis. Like
that's the same question I had.
I was confused.
Yeah,
Boy,
he
he
had
just
to
looked
get out
at
of
him.
there.
He shot Rick. Why didn't he shoot Lewis?
I'll tell you exactly why.
Plot armor.
Nope. I'll tell you exactly why. All right. So just think to that scene for a moment. All right. After the whole wipeout and stuff and they park up, he sends bro to go in front of the car and shit after he takes a look, says he's dead. You lies, because like I'm sure he was able to tell he was alive and
Yeah,
probably that he was armed. But when bro walks up and shit like that, and then he gets shot or whatever else, did you see the way he was holding the camera?
Nope.
wait, who
What are you
was?
referencing?
Lou, the way he was holding the camera in his hand.
Yes, but I'm saying, like, are you saying like he was holding it like secondary? He was actually watching the action?
Not that. He was holding it kind of like a gun that requires 2 hands to brandish. It seemed like he was assuming a pose like he was holding a firearm, and he had the light on it as well. So, bro, with his gun and shit like that, was looking at it and said, Am I fucked right now? Like, he turned around, and that's when the police came and eventually, you know, they
Shot the
killed him.
shit out of him.
But my understanding, at least, is that the way he was holding it, and then on top of that too, when the police were pulling up and shit, obviously he turned off the lights and shit. But yeah, I think right there, like he might have fooled the other dude into thinking he had some shit on him too. But I don't know if y'all caught that.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I didn't
That's
see
an
that.
interesting perspective.
But
But
I'm gonna take a screenshot actually, you know, for our purposes here of just like that particular moment and shit. And when you look at his posture, I think like it makes it look kind of like how I'm describing it here.
mhm. But yeah, so he walks up on Rick dying and some shit, and Rick basically told him like, "You knew this shit." He's like, "Of course I knew." He basically told him like, you tried to, like take advantage of the fact that like I wasn't in a good position to negotiate and shit. If you would have like you did it now, you would have did it. You would have did it again later. And
Right.
dude said, "I don't know." He say, "I know." That motherfucker, and he just watch him
He
bleed
definitely
out
would have did it
on
again.
camera, bro.
Rick
You
Rick
know,
Rick found a superpower there. He definitely would have did it
a
again.
superpower.
Hell yeah. Like dude had no leverage. Like it was like either you gonna like pay me half or I'm not doing this shit and I'm finna like shut your shit down because he gonna tell the cops or whatever. So he definitely took away that nigga ability to bargain or like withhold shit. So he definitely would have did it again.
If y'all take a look real quick in the chat, you see like the kind of way he was holding the gun there. I'm sorry to see.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so the way he was postured, I feel like it psyched out the dude. Obviously he's disoriented or whatever else. He had the light in his face or whatever, but the way he was standing too kind of makes it look like he was pointing some shit at him. So that's kind of like how I read that situation. I didn't think he was plot armored so much. I feel like bro there, he shot the person in front of him and then just, what I'm saying, when you see him, bro, he probably got shook.
But yeah, so the movie it comes towards an end. You know what I'm saying? He goes in there and sells his footage. You know what I'm saying? That bitch is fucking with him heavy now. You know what I'm saying? They put on like some horrendous shit on the news. He gets to make good connections with all the news people and shit. The police take him in for questioning, and like she basically like knows that he's full of shit, but she can't prove nothing on him. You know what I'm saying? So like he's let go, and the movie basically ends with him giving a speech to his newly hired employees with his several vans and some more shit, and he really just like he got away with it, bro. He got away
Yes,
with it.
sir. He's going
He
on to
got it.
continue the cycle.
That's
Yep,
all
he
his
has the
fault.
nice ass trucks with the VPN or
Mhm.
whatever.
Them
And
niggas,
he got a team of people, and he said something at the end that I thought was powerful.
what he
He's
say?
like, he said,
He was a liar.
he said, I assure you that I'm not gonna ask y'all to do any single thing
That
that
I
I would
wouldn't do.
not do myself.
That's the
He's right
coldest
about that.
lie I heard the
He's
whole
right about
movie,
that.
boy.
Yeah,
I
he
couldn't
ain't lying.
believe he
That
He's
sold
not
nigga
lying.
did
that.
all that shit.
He did
I couldn't,
everything.
I couldn't believe he sold that shit like
What
that.
what what
What do you
what
mean?
would he not do, KTL?
What
Not get
what
shot
KTL
by
is
him.
saying,
He that
yeah.
motherfucker that shot
He
Ricky.
didn't ask Rick to get shot.
Yeah, no, he asked him to walk up to that bitch like he didn't.
He
Facts.
walked up too though.
He did walk
No,
up. You're
he
right. He did.
maintained a distance, boy, and then he
No,
knew what was finna
he
go off,
walked up and
so
looked
he
in there.
backed up, boy.
Nah. Yeah, but he walked up.
That boy is a
I'm
fraud.
gonna
You're
keep it
not
a buck.
convincing me otherwise,
That
gang.
guy did everything, and I don't think he would have told him to do nothing. He wanted to, because he would do anything.
Also,
Oh,
another possibility could be the case that when Lou walked over, he just thought he was dead. Maybe he was incapacitated at the time he was in front of the
get the
car.
fuck.
Fuck no, that
And
is
then
not it.
it could be.
Because the reason that's not it is because he basically admitted that he knew dude wasn't dead and he was gonna shoot Rick. He basically admitted that at the end. He set Rick up for that.
He's saying he died doing what he loved. I don't know if you can read that as an
No, not
intent.
that. That was a lie.
Yeah, that was a bullshit lie.
That was a fucking lie. I'm talking about when he had that conversation with Rick when Rick was on the ground. He was like, you knew he wasn't dead, and he was like, yeah, because you
He said, I can't
took
let
away
anything
my
get in the way of my business.
you
Or
took away
whatever.
my bargaining power. Yeah, that's what it was. So he set Rick up.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
Like I say, so I mean that's the whole movie in a nutshell. We've been talking for a minute. Let's get like to our final thoughts about the movie
And the ratings.
and yeah.
And the ratings, man, we can you said what, Puff?
So let's go.
Yeah, let's go down the list, man. Start with Bob Celeste. What you got?
All right. So, man, we pick apart movies like this and call out some idiosyncratic shit, but ultimately, like, really well made movie. Nightcrawler sounds like a superhero movie when you hear it. It's like the Nightcrawler, but nah, it's just a colloquial term for people who live this kind of life. And what's funny about this movie is that this kind of lifestyle, it's just kind of like being paparazzi in a way. But even the paparazzi knows when not to overstep bounds, especially moral bounds in a lot of
They
ways. I mean,
don't.
they stand outside people's houses and shit, and they bother people. You know, the Kanye video. So clearly, sometimes it's an overreach, but never to such a gruesome extent. But one thing that I realize in this movie is that karma works for evil in this movie, not for good. The dude who's trying to, get him to, what I'm saying, like it ends up being a case that misfortune strikes all the people trying to do good, and the evil wins out in this movie. And I also find it like how Puos was saying toward the beginning that they give us his account, his perspective chiefly, yo. And the one dude who seemed to have a conscience in his circle, his partner, he was whiny and useless the entire movie. All right. So this movie was kind of a twisted dystopian moral where it was like the evil is like actually like the good in this shit, and they had you rooting for this fucking narcissistic creep, for the entirety of the movie in a way. And I thought that was really cool how they did that. Cinematography amazing, way really well shot movie, and I thought even though Jake Gyllenhaal had a really deep character, there was some great acting across the board. I didn't feel like anybody was forcing it. I thought that everybody had like a special fundamental relationship to this dude's grandmaster plan, and I thought that they executed that well. And as far as the plot and the way that they built it up and stuff like that, oh, everything from the way they had the details of the news stories and like the back knowledge on like why they prioritized that stuff and ratings and stuff. They did a lot of deep reading and a lot of deep writing on this film, which I always appreciate as a fan of Shutter Island, right? But and beyond that too, action scenes, violent scenes, the car chase, extremely exciting, a lot of great tension throughout the film. And I don't feel like I was ever really bored during it. I thought this was a strong film. I think that this is a movie I would actually watch again, oddly enough, and I haven't said that about a lot of numbers here. You know what? Overall, extremely, fantastic film in a lot of ways. Um, I'm gonna give this movie here a 8.2. I was gonna go for the 8.5. However, I would say that in a lot of ways, the runtime, which is relatively abbreviated, may have had it so there were some miraculous leaps between major parts, and I would take a little bit more time. I think of like kind of fleshing out the transitions a bit more in this one, but overall, great movie, man. 8.2, Bob Celeste.
All right, KTL.
All right, man. I think Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job of acting as his character. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he presented this character exactly how it was intended to be. You know what I'm saying? The main character is like a really like weird creep. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does a lot of like obviously morally reprehensible shit. And like, I didn't have the same feeling where like I was like rooting for somebody to make it. I was more so watching the movie with an expectation that at the end all of this shit would be his downfall. And so therefore, like when the movie ended where it was basically, oh, he got away with it, I was very surprised, honestly. Um, you know, but with that being said, I think that it this was an okay movie, I guess. It didn't drag on, it's 2 hours, but like I watched it and I just like there was only one time where I checked the time on it and I realized I only had about 10-15 minutes left in the movie. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, okay, well, like it maintained my attention throughout, trying to see what was gonna happen next. Um, I don't think it was a great movie. I think it was okay in my opinion. I don't think I would watch it again, really. Uh, if I had to rate the movie, I'd probably give it like a 5.5. I think it's all right. When it comes to the question of recommending someone to watch it, I think yeah, you might should go watch it, but you can form your own opinion on it. But it's not something I personally would watch again. But salute to Jake Gyllenhaal, man, and salute to the directors of this movie. I think they got their point across very well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that they had a very good moral of the story here.
All right, Pujols.
Fire movie. I enjoyed every bit of the shit. You know what I'm saying? Um, I really enjoyed the character development, bro. Like the dude went from kind of like whiny and like I mean, he always was assured of himself, but as the movie went on, he started like demanding things instead of suggesting things. So I'm a big fan of that. And like KTL said, I thought he was gonna get caught and go to jail, and that nigga won. Like, that nigga won the whole shit, the whole fucking like all the bullshit crimes this nigga committed, and just the shit he was doing. Like, come on, bro, you should not have gotten away with any of this shit. But I didn't expect him to, so when he did, it kind of caught me as a surprise. So I would definitely watch this shit again within the next couple months, and it's probably one of my most favorite movies I watched last year. So I'm gonna give it probably my highest rating I gave anything. I'm gonna give it a 9, and that's it.
All right. So for me, this movie kept my attention as well. Like, it wasn't anything that dragged on, like KTL say. It wasn't boring. You was paying attention the whole time to see what was gonna happen next, type shit. And so I think Jake Gyllenhaal definitely played the character well. Kind of what Toluno said. I feel like it was a few characters in this movie that had a conscience. The problem is the characters that had a conscience didn't matter. And so Rick was one of them. And I feel like there were two of them in the little news studio thing. There was the guy who was against everything from the beginning. He was against them showing all that shit from the beginning. But they disregarded him. Nina told him like his job is to like make tweets and shit and whatever else. And it was another lady that came in a little later, and she was kind of against what they was doing too. However, Nina and I forget his name now, the main character, Lewis. Yeah, Nina and Lewis. They the two of them are the ones that stand out, and it's pretty much because they were the two that didn't give a fuck and they wanted this shit to be shown. Lewis for his personal gain and Nina for her personal gain as well. And so I think the characters were portrayed well. The movie itself, I think it's a cool movie. I also thought he was gonna lose in the end. And so when he didn't, it's definitely a surprise. I was talking to Art before this podcast, and we kind of came to the same conclusion. We had the same thought. This movie is basically like a character study, sort of like how they did Taxi Driver and they did the Joker the same way. It's to show you, like what Puo said, the development of the character from start to finish. And so it's similar to when I watched Taxi Driver. Like, I don't feel like I get anything after it's over. Like, I see the character and how he progressed. Even with Rick, I didn't mention it before, but Rick, his character progressed pretty much the same way. And I think it was cool to watch that happen. But the movie itself, I don't think I got anything from it, so I don't think I'll watch it again no time soon. Like, if it's on, maybe I'll watch it, but it's like there's nothing that comes from this movie for me that makes me want to rewatch it other than just the character development. So for me, I give it a 7.2 personally. And that leaves Tex. Yep, Tex. No Tex?
You might have fell asleep.
Okay. The nigga Mike move, Paul. You saw that shit?
Yeah, I felt like you snored.
Hey, Tex, you there? All right, man, we're gonna have to do the shit without Tex then. So with that being said,
What's the score, Slim?
wait, what was it again? 7.2, 5.5, 9, and Luno said an 8 point what?
8.2.
8.2, got it. I don't know what happened before. So for NightCrawler, we have a 7.4 total score.
Well deserved. I'm cool with that score, man.
Yeah, that's solid.
So
Last order of business.
Yeah, with that being said, next week's movie will be chosen by Luno. So, Luno, take it
Well,
away.
gentlemen, I honestly feel like our trajectory with these movies has been anything but linear. I mean, sometimes we're doing mystery, sometimes we're doing horror, sometimes we're doing action, sometimes we're doing new movies, sometimes we're doing old movies. And I do like that we had this sort of freedom. Seems like y'all niggas will sit down and give pretty much anything a chance. But I was kind of thinking to myself during the week, like, what if we really did like throw shit like all the way back kinda and like see like kinda like what they was doing in kind of the early
Pause.
stages of these movies. Pause. I'm gonna be frank with y'all, man. I'm gonna go a little bit rogue
Go ahead,
here.
Frank.
I got a I got a suggestion for y'all that, or rather a movie choice for y'all that might be horrible, but it might be crazy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So next week's movie, 1984,
Oh Jesus.
Jackie Chan,
Mm-hmm.
the original kung fu comedy, The Drunken Master.
Interesting.
I'm sorry. What was it? Mine had cut out.
The Drunken Master.
Oh boy, Jackie Chan.
Interesting. All right, man. This has been episode 13 of the Real Rap Coalition podcast, man. We'll be back next week. We are out.